Okay, Jimmy.
It's just me, dude. My computer's screwed up.
You're on. We're on. Jimmy, we're on.
We're on. We're back for at least one more, too.
I got to tell you, right when I sent the email out with the show link that said last Garden report ever, I was this close to tweeting. It was after the take foul. I was that close to tweeting game over. Everything looked wrong, right? Everything.
From the start.
Who at the moment of the take foul thought the Celtics were going to win this game? Raise your hand. Liars.
I didn't think they were going to win this game from the very start. Never mind from the take foul. I can't
see the chat.
What do you mean you can't see the chat at all?
I got no chat.
I get the chat. You're not missing much. No, I'm just kidding.
You have it?
What do you mean?
You can see the chat?
Yeah, but you're screwing around with you're screwing around with like what it looks like.
Can you see the comments or no? I can't see anything.
Yeah, I can see them.
Wow. All right. I might have to log out and back in a minute if we ever get reinforcements so I can see the chat. Jimmy, at this point, you're the guy putting up comments.
They're coming in hot. They're coming in real fast.
Oh, my freaking God. I mean, talk about the flip in terms of emotions. Both, I would imagine, everybody had the same exact feeling, which was...
This is it right here.
Which was Jason Tatum's not the guy. This is ridiculous. We have to split up the Jays. I hate him. He's not a real star.
Joker,
blah, 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 blah. Joker, fraud, choke, worst choke job, Boston sports history. Endless string of this would have been the Jason Tatum. I tweeted it semi-jokingly, like Jason Tatum's legacy lives on another day. He would have been eviscerated, absolutely torn to shreds if they lost this game for this performance. I've never seen somebody melt down like that for so long and look so friggin' clueless. And then, I mean, exactly. There's the string. I honestly think we could have filled 3 hours on Tatum. I don't even know if we would have mentioned another person. And there were others on my list, but this would have been the Jason Tatum's Not the Guy show. And he saved his ass and he saved the Celtics season. So... And he put a hard hat on Jimmy's head. So we're going to talk about it all. Jimmy, remove that comment 1 second, please. I want to tell everybody at home first, where were you at the take foul? Where were you? I was here.
Yeah.
It was right around there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was all the way over there. All right. We want to tell you, show is powered by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Boston. Actually do this one instead. No sweat first bet up to 1,000 when you sign up. FanDuel.com/Boston.
Put it all on Game 7.
Athletic Greens, go get some goods here. Get yourself ready in the morning with your Athletic Greens. Drop it in a cup of water. You're good to go. Athleticgreens.com/garden. And HelloFresh, HelloFresh.com. 16 garden. You need 16 wins, Jimmy. How many do we have? Try to do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7, which means how many more?
Don't ask me that. That's too much. 9.
9 more.
Yeah, 9, okay.
But
not
all
math
you have to do is enter that code to get all of those free meals. And I don't know, my man. That was pretty something. So I guess walk through some of the reactions. I can tell you now, I can't even see the chat, but I am the chat right now. You
are every chat. I mean, everyone's saying
everyone's feeling the same way.
Can't believe how this game went.
And I may disappear, but I won't be gone for good, Jimmy.
So you're not disappearing yet, dude.
Just don't get scared.
Wait a second.
Just don't get scared. I'm still here. You go. Oh my God, you might disappear.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. I'm trying to put up. We get 5. Wait, am I bugging out now?
No, you're good. Do your thing.
Am I? Okay. Well, I just put up a chat, but it's not showing. So I don't know if something's wrong with
it. Just keep talking. Power through it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Listen, the way they came out was, I think, the way everyone wanted them to come out, minus obviously Tatum being cold. They jumped up to that huge lead, but we all knew that, the Sixers were going to make a little bit of their comeback as they have, it's a game of runs, right? So Sixers do their thing and then they go back and forth. You got to give a shout out to Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart gets my player of the game, but Malcolm Brogdon's kind of the guy who saved them in that first half. He came in off the bench. What did he have? 11 points, right off the bat, something crazy like that. And it just felt like, Oh, and John's gone. So it just felt John's back, but
I told you just be a second. I just switched over. Now I
okay.
can see the chat.
Okay,
I got to
okay.
see my people, Jimmy. I got to see
Okay,
them.
I don't know what you're doing back there, dude. You're all over the place. So, anyways,
I wanna see
I was
what's
about to
going
go
on.
on about Malcolm Brogdon and how important he was to start this game for these guys. Not the very start, but he paced them. When guys like Tatum couldn't get anything going, he was hitting his threes left and right. I thought he was huge for them. And I gotta say, as I already kind of alluded to, Marcus Smart had a lot of things to say after game 5, right? And he pretty much put himself out there and said, this is it. You got to leave it all out there on the line. You got to come hard to play, and you got to play tough and all this stuff. And he did it. So I give him huge props tonight. I thought he was their best player from start to finish. And again, I know Brogdon has a big part of it too. I know Rob was huge for them, but I thought Marcus Smart from start to finish gave them big time baskets when they needed it. He was aggressive. He was all over the place. He got other people involved. So he's going to get my Brownie Award, I guess. But they needed him too. I mean, and we talked about how this team, they have like weird depth. They're 7 strong. They don't have a lot of depth in terms of like numbers, which doesn't make any sense, but you know what I'm saying. They have 7 starters, and they needed guys like Brogdon. They needed guys like Rob to really step up tonight in the absence of a big time performance from Tatum. Yeah, Tatum hit the 3 threes in the fourth quarter, but he almost cost him the game. He's lucky that these other guys on his team kept them involved. He's lucky that the Sixers couldn't capitalize the way they probably should have, with the Celtics star player essentially no showing on offense for 3 3/4 of the game. So that's
here's the thing. Amazing, right? It happened. It does not let Tatum off the hook, but we're not going to sit here and bash Tatum. This was a disturbingly bad performance, just in the sense that he couldn't get places. He's driving into the teeth of defense. He's making terrible rim reads. He's driving with his head down. This wasn't just a cold shooting night. This was a night where Jason Tatum looked like he didn't know what he's supposed to be on a basketball court. It was unnerving. This wasn't one of those where he's got good looks and they're not falling. It was weird, off balance, leaning to the side, goofy, weird stuff all night, bad rim reads, playing with his head down, getting stripped left and right. It was horrific. Okay, yeah. We're not going to forget it. Horrific.
No,
I can't unsee how bad he was. It is so hard to see a player. It's fine to see someone just miss shots. They go cold. To see a player play as badly as he played offensively, just scoring, or as the kids say, scoring the basketball. Not the kids, but people say it. I don't like scoring the basketball. I think it's dumb. Anyway.
Who says that?
It's just one of those phrases that doesn't need to be said. Scoring. But he blocked 2 shots. He passed. In the first half, I actually thought he made other contributions. The third quarter, he looked like he was like a JV call up to varsity, and the game was too fast for him. He looked atrocious. And then splash, hits 3 threes, all's forgotten. It's not forgotten for me. I'm going to have a hard time unseeing that and worrying what you're going to see again. Nightmares, because this is not one game. It's a pattern of not just slow starts, atrocious starts, and somehow they escaped it. So Tatum's not off the hook. Tatum was a hero in the end, but this isn't the Jason Tatum saved them game. It was they won in spite of Jason Tatum game, and he hit shots when he had to. You're giving all the credit and every brownie and every game ball to the defense. You're going to give some to Joe for making that defensive switch, even though it petrified me, because I thought the bigger problem with this team was the offense, and it looked it tonight, but a lot of that was tied to Tatum's struggles. But the offense still looked disjointed as hell. And Marcus Smart, all of you guys out there, and I've been critical of Marcus Smart too, every bit of Marcus Smart criticism this playoffs has been misguided.
I agree. It's been a little over the top, right?
It's a straight. I've found a million reasons to get on Smart and the Marcus Smart experience, and there's stuff. He's been way more a net positive than negative all series long, and he saved your freaking ass tonight. So collective apology cam for everybody out there on Marcus Smart. And Joe for committing to a gutsy move by Joe. breaking glass in case of emergency on a lineup that he hadn't tried, and I was dubious, Jimmy. I wasn't sure. I thought, because the offense is what scares me more than the D. I thought the defense is a matter of effort, but their offense looks really a mess, and their defense was incredible. They made it harder on Embiid. Rob, even though he did weird Robbie goofy things, his presence was a deterrent. They missed a ton of their shots in the paint. Embiid had a poor shooting night. Embiid turned it around a little bit late. He was disruptive. Harden had a crap night. He couldn't get where he wanted to go. It worked. It worked for what you wanted there.
I was also, when I saw that they were putting Rob, and I immediately just went to the Bruins in my head, and I was like, here we go. We're starting to panic and try.
Montgomery's
we're just grasping
around.
at yeah, exactly. We're just trying things now, and we're nervous, but it worked. And I criticized Rob to the high heavens after last game because he couldn't even find the court in meaningful minutes, or in my opinion, I just don't think he's playing effectively enough. So I'm happy that they went to him because up to this point, it felt like Joe didn't trust him enough, or Joe wasn't happy with him, and he wasn't getting that playing time. I thought at this point in the season, in his career, he needed to get. So again, what I always say about Rob is, can he string it together? Can we see him be effective in Game 7? Because he's going to get the start again now. So which Rob are we going to get? Are we going to get the same one? I hope so. Or are we going to get the one that, drives everybody crazy? So I'm pleasantly surprised. Listen, I said after Game 5 that I thought the Celtics were going to lose this game. I'm happy to be wrong. But I had no reason to believe, after what I had seen the last couple games, that they were going to change their ways. And in some cases, especially on the defensive end, they definitely did. As you mentioned, John, there are still some concerns. I mean, Tatum, it goes without saying, everybody saw it, how frustrating it was. And I will say this about Tatum, though. I thought that he was going to let that just ruin his game completely until the end. So the fact that he did pull together a couple big-time shots, I like that. I do like that because that tells me that, he's got a little bit of, leave it behind. Don't think so much about, don't dwell on the past. Don't be angry about what happened in the first quarter, or in this case, the first 3 quarters, and just trust that you still can hit the shot. And to his credit, he still took the shots. It wasn't like, I'm sure there were some people out there that wanted him to be on the bench at that point in the game because of how badly he was playing. So Mazzulla keeps him in. He gets the shot. He takes it, and he sees a couple go in. Maybe that changes things for him completely in Game 7. You have to hope so. Jaylen Brown, I thought he did Jaylen Brown things tonight. I thought, as I think you noticed too, John, gave up a little bit on defense, wasn't really as intense as you could have been. But, I thought that he did some things out there as well. I mean, these are your 2 stars. You need them both to play better than they did tonight, of course. And that's why on the bright side, I guess the silver lining is you got the help from the guys like Smart, Brogdon, Rob, some of those guys that were coming up, this is their quote unquote depth, right? Brogdon and Rob. I mean, these are the only 2 guys really.
Well, I mean, Mazzulla got tight, man. Yeah. We talked about what is he going to do. There was some talk of Pritchard, some talk of maybe Hauser. Maybe this was a Grant. Maybe I don't know how you start double big and not get Grant minutes, because that screws up your rotation. Grant plays more when they go double big because you got to bring somebody off the bench. Really, an amazing feat by Joe to keep Grant on the pine.
Brogdon played 30. Brogdon usually doesn't play that much.
Well, I know, but I mean, everybody was up some. But I mean, Rob went up into 28 or so.
27, 28.
Al played 39. So he said, "Nah, I'm gonna die with these guys out there, man," and he did. Mm-hmm. So really, they went. I mean,
they're a true 7-man lineup right now.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
really they are. It. So they are. So we are going to get some fresh perspective from our man here, our man in Brockton.
From Brogdon to Brockton.
From Brogdon to Brockton, our Brockton reporter. Hold on 1 second.
Is he coming?
I gotta change a graphic before I do.
Oh, this is where the only
the
guy
switcheroo.
who knows.
Kablamo! Nailed it.
Did you nail that in one take? There you go. One try. Now I got to adjust here. All right, there you go.
Oh, you got some books that you're pretending to read behind you?
I got some books I read.
Get out of here. I've read every single page of those books.
Yeah.
You know it. Ever since
one of
Grace
them's
of the
called
game.
Mackin, the other one's called,
It's actually like it's like 95% basketball related. So you know what? It's not really much of a flex, I guess.
The chicks dig the bookshelf.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, you're making it sound like I got like Shakespeare and like
Moby Dick. Is that what I see? Moby Dick back there.
Yeah, right. Like this isn't nothing crazy here, but man, how the heck did these guys win this game? Like for a few reasons, right? I mean, listen.
Don't say because it was Jason Tatum. Literally, it was everybody else on the team. If
John
you had to
hates
rank,
that Tatum hit those
if you
shots.
ranked in reverse order, what?
You hate that Tatum hit those shots.
No, I love that Tatum hit the shots.
You wish it was anybody else that could hit.
Because John wanted to be like the team had to save him. That's what he wanted to say.
No. But I mean, come on. Like
story.
they got saved. They got saved by double big, by defense, by Brogdon, by Smart. They did.
Right, that's true, John. But you knew the only way that the Celtics were going to be able to pull off that win was if Tatum had to do something because nobody was going to do it. Nobody was going to do it. I mean, look, Brogdon had a good, obviously overall good game, but in that fourth quarter, when the Philly crowd was into it, and all of a sudden they lost the lead, and it just seemed like, oh, here we go. I mean,
I thought it was over.
Who else was going to step up there? And look, Joe Mazzulla didn't really make it as easy on this team, right? I mean, look, you go what? 7 deep. What is this? Game 7 of the NBA Finals? No Grant, no Pritchard, no Hauser. I mean, look, I didn't expect a whole 10-man rotation, but I'm really surprised that he didn't shake things up beyond the double big, which I was a fan of. I mean, Bobby and I spoke about that after Game 5. You know, like that was almost a must just to do it, just to stop Embiid. And you didn't really do that, right? You made him work a little harder. You got Rob jumping for a lot of up fakes, which made me uncomfortable. I felt like Embiid was also getting into the flow of things. And then the fourth quarter, he didn't get the ball as much. And obviously Tatum, I'm not saying capitalize off of that, but those 3 3-pointers clearly was the difference here down the stretch. But yeah, I mean, John, I'm with you. I mean, look, put it this way. When I say I feel like it had to be Tatum, I felt like because I'm looking at Jalen and it was like he had the stage crew jacket on. He was setting the stage for Tatum. Marcus was taking a couple of shots here, but guys like Rob, guys like Al Horford, they were all setting the stage for Tatum. So it was like it had to be Tatum because nobody else was going to take those shots, and nobody else was going to have the what to just say, look, I'm gonna do it. And hey, he pulled it off. Tatum pulled it off. It wasn't pretty. It's one of those weird moments we'll look back on for sure. But considering what happened. Before we see what happens in Game 7, of course, we have to wait and see. But yeah, man,
honestly, I don't.
This was weird, man. I'm surprised they won that. I don't know.
I'm not going to quibble over it. I didn't have to be Tatum. Anyone could have hit shots there. It just happened to be Tatum, and it's a better story.
In this game, though, no one wanted to take those shots, John.
You know what? Tatum looked like the least guy. He wanted to take them the least, honestly. So, I mean, there's a reason why Marcus Smart was your leading scorer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they were about 2 possessions away from
nobody
going
else was
to
stepping up.
Marcus. Yeah, exactly. Emergency Marcus mode where he just
Jalen was a freaking disaster. Honestly, he had 2 or 3 drives where he took it in there, but the rest was slow dribble. He wasn't attacking at all. He wasn't looking for his shot. Wasn't getting out in transition. He was oddly passive too. It really was up to the guards. It was Smart and Brogdon who were
13 or 14 shots.
Yeah, they were I guess
13
shots around there.
But you're right though. Al was petrified to shoot all game long.
He didn't even want to do it.
They were playing hot potato, passing it to Rob for no reason at all. Derek White still weirdly is just been the worst player for the Celtics in this series, and it's hard to explain. Yeah. I mean, the on-off numbers with White are staggering. They're just worse with him on the court, which is crazy for the year that he had. So you're talking about playing 7 guys. White only played 19 minutes. So you're right. I mean, you got offensively very little from White, Horford, and Tatum for most of the game. I mean, what a rock fight. You have to really just look at the defense and the bigs, and you got to give flowers to Rob Williams here. When you're watching him, you're
figure out Rob Williams.
Can't figure him out because when you're watching him, you're like, what's going on here? But the numbers are undeniable. They're better with him on the court. He was a difference maker tonight. He had the best plus minus on the team. They were better when he was out there. And defense won this game, and his presence there mattered. Even if he does weird, goofy shit where he just jumps out of bounds and stands there for 5 seconds, and you're like, what are you doing? Or he, gets beat on an up fake or whatever it is. I get you got to really look there. We're going to look to Sherrod Blakely, who's in Philadelphia. Phone is ringing for Sherrod. What's going on, buddy?
Who's on the
Not
line?
me. That was
That's me.
Josue. That
My
was
bad.
Josue, as usual.
Damn, Sherrod just snitching with the quickness.
Damn. What's that? DoorDash? What you got? Taco Bell coming?
No, just an excited Celtics fan. I think I didn't turn him off.
Yeah, tell him about texting.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, what?
like I gotta do this show.
It actually
Like
works.
your
Texting
uncle
does
or
work.
something?
This thing the kids are doing. Yeah. Anyway, Sherrod, what do you got, buddy?
Oh my gosh, this was an amazing game. Philadelphia, I thought they did what they came to do in this game. I thought Joel was actively involved. Maxey was getting to his spots, making big shots, and they were within striking distance. But there had to be a little bit of an unsettling feeling that they did so many things well, and Tatum was playing so horrible, and it was still pretty much either team's game to be had there in the final few minutes. And Tatum finally found his stroke and closed it out, scoring 12 of the Celtics' last 14 points, and they get the win, and they live to see another day. But this was cutting it incredibly close. When you look at the way they played, you look at the way he struggled for basically 30-plus minutes. And his supporting cast, they did what they were supposed to do. They made plays. They were solid defensively, but they needed their leader to step up, and then to his credit, he stepped up when it mattered most.
All right, good night, Sherrod.
Facts, my dog.
Thanks a lot. No, but the thing about this game though is, as you look ahead to Game 7, is you really don't know if you can replicate this if you're the Celtics. Like, can he be this horrible for that long and you still win? And I don't think you can. I don't think they can. If he goes off and misses like his first 10, 11, 12 shots, I don't think he's going to be able to get this team over the hump and win Game 7. I just think Philadelphia right now, they're feeling too good about themselves, and understandably so. They played a really good series. They positioned themselves to be a team that could go on the road and win a Game 7.
Yeah, I think obviously this was a gift win for them. I mean, I think their defense saved them. I think we can all agree with that.
Sherrod, though, they've won 2 games. They've won a game in which he scored 7 points, and they won a game in which he started 0 for 14 from the field. That's 2 of their 3 wins. So they win?
And tonight he was 0 for 10, so that's 3 wins.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So can they? Yeah, they can, and they have.
Gosh,
So
John, how many times can you go to that well and expect to win, though? That's my thing. How many times can you go to that well and expect a positive outcome?
Well, so and again, I don't know, but here's what we were saying last game, and I was adamant about it, and I really did believe it. This notion that you need Tatum to go off to win a game, you don't. This notion that you got to get Tatum going to win a game, you don't. He can't be this atrociously bad, but I hate the idea of like you need the superstar effort. It's a good team play, good defense. Yeah.
If that's like what they spend their time trying to do, that's why it's going to hurt them.
What do you guys
That's why it's going to hurt
No,
them.
because Jimmy does that thing where he thinks you're going to keep talking, but you stop, so you completely caught him off guard.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to just pipe in quickly.
He was like, John,
and I was
what,
like,
Jimmy,
shoot,
what?
he's gonna let me talk.
Right.
What is it,
No.
Jimmy?
No. It is a thing because it's very obvious that's what they've been doing all year. They're not just going to stop trying to do that. So, yeah, it does hurt the team when they try to get him going and he's just not going. It's not like, after a couple, 2 or 3 misses, Tatum doesn't have it tonight. All right, guys, let's just like move the ball. Let's work on ball movement instead and like treat Tatum like he's Grant Williams. Like, it's not going to happen. So they are going to live and die. They are ricochet shot right there. But they are going to unfortunately live and die by these guys, by Tatum and Brown. That's just how it's going to be. That's how they're built.
You're right.
So backing up a truck.
Mute yourself, whoever's backing up a truck, real quick. What do you guys want to do? You want to eat? You want to gamble, or you want to get healthy? Which one?
Eat.
Gamble.
We're gonna eat.
Get
Sorry,
healthy.
Josue said eat.
Damn.
Healthy's the last one, huh? Yeah.
Healthy's last.
We'll save healthy for me.
We'll get there. We wanted to tell you a little bit about one of our sponsors here at the Garden Report, HelloFresh. We went over this, Jimmy. HelloFresh.com, 16 Garden. How many wins they got?
Yeah, they've got 7 wins.
They need 9. Use the code 16 Garden, 16 free meals. We're talking about restaurant quality ingredients delivered right to your door. Skip the hassle of going to the grocery store and get in on HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Did you come up with 16 Garden?
No, probably Guy. He's good. He's good like that.
Okay.
That's a good
I would've
call
just-
by Guy. That was
Guy's
a good
good
call.
like that.
You could have just done banner 18, and that would have made it way more obvious. You wouldn't have to explain what.
Yeah, but I don't think they
Garden
wanted to give you 18 meals. They wanted to give you 16 meals.
No,
So we had to
16's a
do
nice
something.
is. True. Okay, that makes sense. That
So-
makes sense. Yeah.
So that's what it is.
If Guy was doing his job, he would have got 2 extra meals out of them.
Yeah. All right.
Shout
Damn,
out,
Jimmy,
Guy.
you don't take shots at Grant now, Guy. Damn.
Guys get
I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding, Guy. It's
He's
a
getting you
great get.
paid.
It's a great get.
So best thing about it is, like I said, going to the grocery store and you have to get everything, and you forget one ingredient, you're like, forget it, or you got to buy a whole bunch of it. Everything's pre-portioned. It's perfect. It's fresh. It's there. It's 20 minutes of prep, restaurant quality meal. You have it right away. So just go get some. HelloFresh.com/garden. Use the code garden16. We'll also tell you about Athletic Greens.
Oh,
Go get some of that. Athleticgreens.com/garden. 1-year supply vitamin D, 5 free travel packs. Great dietary supplement. Health. You take it in the daytime and you're done for the day. You don't have to go chasing a million different pills and supplements.
you don't have
Takes
to eat
care of-
vegetables.
It takes care of all of your health needs. Immune system, sleep, recovery, focus, gut health.
Adaptogens.
All of that stuff. Yeah, Jimmy just likes saying that. So go check that out. Get yourself some of that.
You can
If you support
stack it.
either of these two sponsors, you go get a Garden Report t-shirt. Just fill out the form in the chat, show us a receipt, and it is
Yeah, I
yours.
need a t-shirt.
Guys, pick up the game again, all right? So it's really hard. These games that go in one direction and you're pretty sure exactly what you're going to say and how much of it you're going to say and how almost all of it was going to be negative, and then it flips late. It's hard to untrain yourself. It's hard to get your brain back in that track, right? There were a lot of good things that happened, and I think it starts with the defense. So Joe is probably the most maligned person of anybody on the Celtics side right now. You got to give him props, right?
Absolutely.
It was a gutsy move, and he did it.
Absolutely. This was the adjustment that we were looking for him
We
to
were
do in some
talking
way, shape, or
about.
form, to make a significant decision that you can actually look at and say, damn, coach is making an adjustment. Rob was brilliant. And you saw what happened in this game when Rob left the court. That was when Philly started getting back into the game. And to me, that period of time was where it really crystallized how impactful he can be in this particular series. I don't believe this Rob Williams impact is going to carry you through every series you go through, but I think in this particular one, it did, because some of the things that they did when he was out there, clear and obvious factors in them being able to get the win. His ability to rim run, catch the lob, give Embiid a second defender out there that when he's making his move on Al, he has to be cognizant of where Rob's at for his ability to contest shots and block them. So it was a really smart move on Mazzulla's part. And again, he gets props for that.
It was risky. I was nervous.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
I wasn't.
he had to do something to address Embiid.
Yeah.
But I was more nervous about the offense than the defense personally. But you're right. It was a lot of stuff. It was people getting into the lane, getting comfortable. Al was getting smoked a lot. You looked at some of the film,
especially
Al's been
in the,
struggling on his own.
he has on both ends, and especially in an elimination game. The last thing you want is to empower someone like Embiid to go off for like a 14, 18-point fourth quarter, and all of a sudden your season's over. Like, I just feel like it felt like we're going in that direction because he was so comfortable, out there in game 5 when he was just knocking shots all around the free throw line, and there was no one taking away that space. So yeah, putting Rob in there just applied more pressure for him, and it made it a bit harder for him to get his shots. Where I feel like the Celtics were also getting out to that quick run, quick lead in the first half made a big difference as well.
Yeah.
So
He just got.
I don't know what's gonna happen in Game 7, man. The way this series going,
I have no idea. I mean, again,
it's insane.
I'm sorry. The vibe, the energy is great. The season's alive. This looked dead. Like, I get it. Like, there's good reason to be hyped now. But holy crap! Like, there was so much awful in here. Like, I have no idea what you're gonna expect in Game 7. Like, is it just gonna wash away?
They suck at home.
Oh, but each team's lost 2 of 3 at home here. But I mean, I have no idea what to think going forward. You have any clue?
No. But the two things that I will say jump out at me about this game, that if you're the Celtics, it adds to the level of uncertainty. Tyrese Maxey continues to be a problem.
Yeah,
because he's faster than all your guards by a lot.
Faster than all your guards, and he's
Good,
finishing
man.
at the rip, and he's showing the ability to knock down a long range shot. So that he's a problem. James Harden has been feast or famine. When he's been really good, they have been really good. When he has been like he was tonight, 4 for 16 shooting, I think he had 13, 7, and 9, which aren't bad numbers if you're the a decent player. But he's not a decent player. He's better than that, but didn't play like that tonight. So.
Right.
They have to be able to minimize a couple of those big three between you're talking about Harden, you're talking about Maxey, and obviously Joel. You're not going to stop Joel, but you need to make him work. And I thought this was one of the better jobs they did of him actually making him work a little bit for his points.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had to play defense a little bit. There were multiple possessions where Marcus Smart would get downhill and Embiid was in that kind of limbo zone where you've got Rob behind you. Is Marcus going to throw the floater? Is he going to throw the lob? How do you defend that? He caught him a couple of times like that. Now, Joel, an elite defender, made his share of big plays down there. No question about that. But there were multiple times in this game where he wasn't able to finish or make that defensive play that he's used to making. And that's the impact that Rob has. It creates a little bit of uncertainty in arguably the best big man defender in the game.
Let's switch. I want to switch the convo here a little bit. Like
favorite ice cream.
It was ugly for so long for the Celtics, but put yourself on the other side. I'd love to jump into a Philly post-game show right now and think what they're thinking. Because, the Celtics had a game where they came down from 16 and took a little lead and then kind of pissed it away, even though they did it later in the game. You talk about losing the game when Embiid didn't play. You lost the game where Jason Tatum basically didn't play, and on top of that, look at what happened here in the fourth quarter. They scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. Okay. This was an absolute, you call it what you will.
Defensive lockdown.
Great defensive lockdown / absolute offensive collapse by Philadelphia. It was insane. They went about a 6-minute stretch there in the fourth without scoring a bucket.
And Maxey was so eager to get on a offensive scoring run that he was just doing his part on defense. That steal, that rattled Jalen, and just doing anything to find that momentum to just give him that little run that would have essentially closed out the game. Obviously, before Tatum hit those 3 3-pointers, but that's all they needed, and that would have been lights out for the Celtics. 3 straight successful possessions, and that would have been it.
So that's the thing is you have the, you watch the Celtics and you think all the time like, oh, they're not great in close games, choking away this and this and that. You've got the Doc Rivers factor. You've got anybody spent any time with any Philly fans in the last week. It didn't matter. This game could have been Philly up 35 at the break. And it'd be like, Boston's going to win. They are such doomers over there. They are like, oh, it's over. We're never going to win. They are absolute.
That's the beauty of Philly.
I love that about Philly.
Even though they're winning every sport right now. It's the beauty of Philly, though. They're just
but they did lose a big one a few months ago.
They are like, we're cooked, we're losers, we'll never do it.
They still got that mentality. They got that hangover lingering. It's true.
I love the passion though. I love the emotion. I love the fact that.
I got to tell you guys real quick.
Spiritual stepbrother to Boston in terms of like passion and like pain.
They're a little more scumbaggier, but other than that, like
this is perfect.
Jimmy,
real quick.
Shut up,
I think Jimmy's an actor.
Shut up. First time Sherrod told somebody flat out shut up on this.
I think game 4.
You guys were thinking it. You were like, oh, they're like ours. They're like ours.
This is not what I was thinking, Jimmy. I was not. I can tell you with absolute facts, I was not thinking scum.
They're like our trashier stepbrother.
Felger used to call them knuckle draggers.
I think game 4.
The Neanderthals,
saw like these group of like fans going at it, like arguing. 3 Celtics fans and 3 Philly fans, and I'll never forget one of the guys towards the end of it. They're going back and forth. Oh, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. And then the other guy goes, you know what, man? It doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, okay, Celtics will probably win it, but they're gonna win it in 7. It's gonna take it for like a Philly fan said that, and I was just like that was their mindset before game 5, obviously. And then I feel like they're still sort of like timid. Like they see what happened, what was going on in that fourth quarter with Tatum. They're just like, oh, here we go again. Like,
yeah, man, it's snowballs at Santa. We know what these guys are about. But thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, Jimmy kind of sticks and moves every once in a while.
Thank you. Yeah, fine. I'll be the Tatum of the show.
Sherrod's sitting there like friggin' Matumbo though when he doesn't like what Jimmy says. I will let all of you know.
Sometimes I say it so you guys don't have to. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
No. Those of you who do contribute to super chats, we do appreciate it very much. Thank you.
What's this? What's a CHF?
It goes out I want to just let people know that it goes out to the hosts, not the greedy corporate slugs who run CLNS
true.
media.
Not the Gelsos of the world. I'll say it. I think he was watching earlier.
Not the corporate ghouls who run the company.
Not the suits. The suits.
The suits. It goes to the workers.
Gelso's my friend. Leave him alone, Jimmy.
I also have ownership, but it goes to the people. It goes to the people. But thank you very much, all of you, for doing.
Yeah, thanks for this. This could. What does this translate to? What's a chiff? What's
$1 million.
It could be. Could be 2,000. Could be 2 million. Could be 2 cents.
It's $1, but that's okay.
It's $1. Yeah.
Huh?
It's Swiss.
How much did you guys talk about Rob?
So we started, but I was saying it. Where we were saying is it undeniable the impact, even though at times like you can't always see it.
Right.
Then he leaves the game, and you're like, wow, it was much better when he was in. And you know, impossible not to acknowledge it, right?
Yeah. And again, I thought it also helped Derek White. I think he was starting to feel a little bit of pressure being in that starting lineup because last 2 or 3 games, he's been kind of crappy. Coming off the bench tonight, 3 for 5 on threes, he had a much better pulse for what he needed to do when he was out there and didn't look as if he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Much smarter game from him. It was a good win, obviously, but Tatum can't wait to the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter to get it going. That you can't. I don't think you can do that in a game 7. I just don't think
you don't want to do that.
You can't, but like,
here's what I want to know. Sherrod.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Can you trust Rob to bring it? He's going to get to start again, obviously, but the big knock, at least I have on him, is that he's not consistent. We expect that same level that we saw tonight again.
But Jimmy, here's the thing about Rob that I think we sometimes forget about. As good as he may be in terms of his individual talent and athleticism, he needs the guys around him to recognize what he can do. They were looking for him on some of those pocket passes more than they normally do, and most of the time it didn't work. But what that did was it opened him up for the lob game. And that's, to me, his defense, his presence, and his ability to finish at the rim on lobs. They were able to, I thought, throw Joel a little bit off his game with that.
It threatens the defense in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's nice to add to it on a night where they needed literally everything. You're right. They tried to zip a couple passes into him. He's just too goofy, to do it. It's not really going to work. You go up there, not down here. Yeah, with the passes.
How is he so athletic and so discombobulated?
I don't think he's actually mentally prepared for the idea that he might have to catch it and do something with it. It's just not. It's not in his thinking. When he's in that area, he's not looking for the ball ever.
He's looking for offensive rebounds.
He's looking for boards. He's not there to position himself. He's not calling for it. So every time it comes in, that's not what he was doing there in the first place. So I almost think half the time when they do it, I'm like, just don't bother. He's never going to turn and face up with it. It just isn't his thing.
Because every single time he's fumbling every damn time they do that.
Which is strange because he has incredible hands. It's just not. He's not. It's not
mental. It's a mental thing.
Here's Rob talking about Rob.
This is exactly the fight that we thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get 10 times harder to stay together.
You guys hadn't played that group together in a long time. Did it just come back?
I guess that's the matchup that they wanted to go with. But you got to do your job regardless of who you step on the court with. So, this is.
Yeah, I thought John would be like, and joining us right now is Rob Williams.
Hey, Rob.
Take it away, Rob.
Hair's getting long. He might have to cut that.
Nah, cut it when the season's over. You don't change it.
You don't want to mess with anything right now.
But I like the Jalen going without the mask today though. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. What did that do for him? Did that make him play any defense? Because I haven't seen any since game 3.
Oh, no. Stop. But it's good.
Shut up, John.
Shut up, that Band-Aid.
You big meanie.
Big meanie. Thank you.
No, this was Jalen.
Could be the signature game. We could see a signature game from Jalen in game 7. That wouldn't surprise me.
This was such a defensive battle on both ends of the floor, though. I mean, Jalen, he had 17 points, lowest scoring game he's had in this series. One of the few games where he doesn't hit the 20-point barrier. but they got it done. And again, I thought all of them, for the most part, did a good job defensively. You didn't really feel like there was anyone that had the easy pass going out there where guys just go into the lane unimpeded for the most part. Even Malcolm, I thought, had a pretty solid game defensively. So this was, defensively, this is what they need to do to win. And again, we talked about it earlier, but I think we're having Rob with that first group sets the tone for them to be more of a defensive-minded team because they didn't really deviate from that in this game, even when Tatum wasn't making shots and the rest of the guys weren't making shots.
Yeah. It's the whole thing is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't. I guess though, again, this would be a shocking game for either team to win. You know what I mean? Is like if Philly can't feel great right now.
Yeah.
At all. They really can't. Like as uneasy as you feel about the Celtics because you're not sure like what kind of performance you're going to get after seeing it. You just got to sometimes recognize that sometimes things are hard and ugly, and that's kind of what I'll give Joe credit for. In this was we got to win ugly because we can't just put all of our faith in hopefully the threes will fall. Like that's a nice byproduct of when our offense is clicking the way that it is. But if we don't figure out a way to win a dogfight, we could go down here. So, the decision to go, to get a little dirty here made the difference, I think. So it just might be ugly. There's two pretty good defensive teams.
Philly's going to feel like they blew it tonight, I feel like.
And Philly's going to feel like they blew it.
Well, the Celtics felt that way after Game 5.
Having the Tatum game.
So, yeah.
But having Tatum be this bad for this long and Philly not put him away, Philly's got to feel that they should have, when they came back after they erased that 16-point, whatever it was, Philly's got to feel like they should have just put some distance there, and they never did. The Celtics kept close. They did it with their defense.
Yeah, and I don't think we've said much about Marcus Smart and his play tonight.
Oh, yeah. We gave Marcus props early, but, yeah, good. I want to hear it.
Listen, this was phenomenal play by Marcus in this game. When you think about the shooting, playmaking, rebounding, intangible plays, this was the best version of Marcus Smart that we saw tonight. Now, are you going to get that in Game 7? Probably not. But it was good enough to get you over the hump while Tatum was just kind of working through all those missed shots. Marcus kept these guys afloat in so many different ways tonight, and they're going to need him to come close to being that impactful. He doesn't have to shoot as well or have as many assists and all that, but he has to make an impact. He has to continue to make his presence felt in a positive way for them to close this thing out in Game 7. That's simple.
We've said it about Marcus before. One of the things I think he's got a tremendous knack for is when he's got a good feel for the moment. Like sometimes he has a bad feel for the moment and he does stupid shit at the wrong time. And that's the Marcus Smart experience. One thing he senses when it's not clicking for Tatum and or Brown, he has a way of imposing his will in a good way, which is someone's got to do it. So it's going to be me. And he recognized that kind of early tonight. And he was doing it. Obviously he knocked down his threes early, which always helps. But, you don't love him ISOing. Sometimes it feels weird when he does it. There were a couple times last game where I was like, this is not the time for the Marcus ISO. But tonight it was, if he doesn't do this, they're not getting a quality shot on this possession. And he recognized it and he kind of went to it and he forced the issue. I think he's great at, I think he does that at like really critical moments in this game. And he carried them offensively. He really did. He was the only one kind of threatening to score on a consistent basis. It was, and then on top of that, the defense, couple of smart plays, hustle plays. I mean, that last play there where, they get the rebound, Smart gets the ball, and both Embiid and Harden were like, done with this game. So they decide to walk. And Smart's
what
like,
was that?
What? Smart's like, if you're going to walk, I'm going to run. And then he runs into the teeth of three people, loses the ball.
Turns it over.
We're all screaming. And then somehow he dives back on it and gets the timeout, which I couldn't believe.
And he got the timeout.
That was Marcus Smart knew he effed up. He was like, I have to get this ball back.
That was a Marcus Smart experience in one play.
I cannot.
He takes you through that entire roller coaster of like, no. Yes. Wow, that was a great play.
Everybody's just chilling. Marcus Smart's going 100 miles an hour just by himself, just trying to grab a ball he had no business turning over.
This is an evergreen comment.
Yeah, can we just pin that? Can we pin that at the top?
Just pin it.
The problem is a lot of these comments are coming in. They're coming in a little bit later for us.
There's
So
so
I don't
many
even know
things
what-
I could have been wrong about by
I
now.
don't even know what that's in reference to. Yeah, so many things.
We talked about Marcus's performance, another person who I think was big. And what's weird, I saw some Brogdon hate on my
Today?
Yeah, I mean, some people, I don't know what it is. I think
People are haters. You know?
it's weird. I did
Not
see
us,
some
people.
Brogdon stuff. I thought he was outstanding as well, and he was knocking down shots when he needed to hit his threes.
Yeah.
was-
First half, he
was-
was huge for them. First
was
Yeah,
quarter.
super
exactly.
important.
Yeah.
Needed him in the first half. Here's Brogdon
really
talking
did.
about the game.
We rely on him, man. He's our guy, through thick and thin.
About Tatum.
And he's, proven that he's reliable in those moments. I don't think there's a doubt in anybody's mind. It doesn't matter how many shots he misses through the first 3 quarters. He's going to finish the game for us.
Do you guys still encourage him throughout the game, or kind of what message do you give him as he's going?
We encourage him. He's not a guy that needs a lot of talking. He's a guy that's highly critical of himself and demands the highest level for himself. So we know he's always going to bounce back. He's resilient. He's a superstar. So he's going to make shots when we need him to make shots.
Yeah, Tatum does not need any encouragement to keep jacking up shots.
Well, that's the other thing too,
Never
is the
mind.
philosophy that they got to find a way to get Tatum going. I also think is bizarre. No, he's Tatum. He finds a way to get himself going, or he doesn't. You don't have to do stuff for him. This notion of and Jimmy made a joke about it, with LeBron or other superstars. You don't need to run a play for him. You don't need to run a set, or this isn't Hauser or Neesmith coming in and you want them to knock down their first 3. So you have them coming off a couple of screens to get him a look. It's Jason friggin' Tatum. He's going to get his when he wants to get his. And if he doesn't, he's not going to. But it's you don't need to get Jason Tatum going. He's just got to get going.
He's got to get himself going, or know when to give it up for somebody.
Know when to not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
make quick decisions and make the right reads. But he's
Part
going
of
to get
being-
himself going. Yeah.
He had
Yeah,
4
but-
turnovers tonight too. Him and Brown
Yeah.
had 4 turnovers tonight.
Yeah, but see, that's what was. Yeah,
17 overall, I think.
But he
they
keeps getting
haven't done
stripped.
that all series. That's what scared me. I was like, there's just too many turnovers going into the fourth quarter.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Another reason why the Sixers have to be kicking themselves. Celtics.
Because I think this was the most turnovers they had in a playoff game this year.
No,
This
it
is-
was
this
not a
year, yeah.
sharp game by any stretch.
It was
That's why
hideous.
Even Game 7 is I don't even know. I don't want to think about it right now because let's just enjoy this one. But I wouldn't be
It was hideous.
super oh my God, they're back. They're playing Celtics
They survived.
basketball. Yeah,
But
defensively they
survived.
looked good. Offensively they looked completely.
As bad as you feel about whatever it is the Celtics did, Philly shot 36% from the floor, 23 from 3. They don't make 18 of 19 free throws. They're not in this game. Celtics were 14 of 16 from the line, but this was abysmal. This was a terrible game. Turnovers, I guess, probably one of the big factors there for the Celtics and allowing Philly to keep it close. Bad turnovers at the wrong time too. But oh my God, if you're Philly right now, you want to
8 3-pointers.
Well, Tatum outscored your entire team in the fourth.
entire team in the fourth. You're
That's-
pissed off right now.
Yeah.
If you're Philly, if you're a Philly fan, you're depressed as hell.
Tobias Harris, 2 points. That's pathetic. 41 minutes, 2 points for Tobias Harris.
I
But
don't know.
remember,
I
in
don't
the
know why.
previous game, he had 15 or 16. He was 7 for 10 or 8 for 10, something ridiculous like that. So, yeah, he came back to earth.
What did
Welcome.
Mac Jones do to deserve this?
Who's Mark Jones?
Broadcast.
Oh, Mark. I thought it was Mac Jones. I thought I was talking about Mac.
Yeah, see,
What
you
the hell is John talking about?
Yeah, I was like,
I
wait,
thought it was Mac. No, Mark Jones is not terrible
Or
at all.
Mark Jones.
No.
Taking
He's
fire.
great. I'm gonna throw. He works with Drapes too, right?
Yeah, in Sacramento.
Doing
yeah,
the
he
King
was-
stuff.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did the
who
game
wrote
for
that?
with
You're
Doris.
terrible, man.
No, I know he does it all the time with Doris. Here's Al Horford talking
We
about.
should get Drapes on the show now that he's
What
got
is
all
Al
this free
Horford
time.
talking about? Should I try to find out first?
Just talking about
No,
the game.
let's just
Talking about
Here's
Look
Al,
for a shot,
here's
or-
Al talking
Freelance.
about Al stuff.
What were you trying to convey? Did you say anything to him?
Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, not really convey, just kind of let him know that, he is that guy. He's special and, really made key plays down the stretch for us.
Tatum sidebar tonight, everybody. This is what's happening. Everyone's going to talk about how
I mean, it's
Tatum just kind of fought through it, and they all knew it. He was going to hit that shot for him, and then he did.
No, they didn't.
That's the story. They
They
did,
didn't.
but they're going to say
No.
they did.
No, they didn't.
They
But
were
I give him
swearing under their
credit
breath
though.
the
I mean,
whole time.
the law of averages tells you that he was bound to get it going. You just wonder, was it going to be too little, too late? That to me was the concern with Tatum. I figured he'd make something happen in late in the fourth quarter, but I didn't know if it would be enough for them to get over the hump and win this game. Because Philly played the same way you should. I mean, their best player, the Celtics' best player, was horrible most of the game, and Philly just chipped away, took the lead, and they couldn't quite get that separation they needed to really solidify this thing. And that was just the crack Tatum needed to get going and just flip the script. So we got a game 7. Here we go.
In Boston. Which team shows up though, Sherrod?
Nobody knows.
The team from game 2, maybe?
Yeah.
Celtics? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how the Sixers
Josue will be there with his
handle the
pom poms. He's got Celtics in 7. We know that.
Yeah, but I don't know. We got to see
Damn,
if
you
he shows
don't
up.
sound
man.
confident with that, Josue. You're like, yeah, but
I mean, I told you we had a Tatum game. I told you we were gonna have,
16
right
fourth
about
quarter
that.
No,
points.
this isn't what I envisioned for a Tatum game.
Oh, this was
whatsoever.
a Tatum game, yeah.
This is a Tatum game, all right.
Like listen again. Well, Sherrod, you weren't here, but I just didn't see any other way for them to win it. But the way they made it dramatic, and in that sense that he had to go out and make those 3 threes in a row, and when you least expected it, no, I didn't see that coming at all. But let me ask you this though, Sherrod. Why is Missoula getting so tight with the rotation, as if like he can trust these guys so much? Like I'm shocked we didn't see at least a Grant or even a Hauser picture, like some sort of something new.
No. Because every possession matters, and you if you got guys who you're not really sure are going to give you what you're looking for every possession, you don't play them. The game plan was to stick with Al and Time Lord, and and that's pretty much it. The guys were going to spend most of the game guarding Joel. The plan was for Tatum and Brown to be out there major minutes, Smart to be out there major minutes. Joe tighten it up, and that's what happens as you get deeper as you get closer to the end. There's certain guys I'm not mad at Joe for tightening up. I want to play Grant. I think that's something. Play Sam Hauser tonight. Hell no.
Well, not Hauser, but I'm just throwing a name out there. But no, like Grant, especially when you go double big. Like, there's something you do.
Shut up, Josue.
Shut up, Josue.
Let him have it, Sherrod.
That's something you do in the Eastern Conference Finals. Because what would have if this team lost? If they lost tonight.
I guarantee if they would have lost, no one would have said, damn, they would have won if they'd have played Grant Williams.
No. People would have pointed at Joe Mazzulla being like, what are these decisions he made? Like, double big worked. The double big worked a little bit, people would have said, and then Tatum went ice cold.
The issue that they would have said that, damn, he should have played Time Lord sooner. That would have been the narrative. He should have gone with
for the series?
Yes. That would have been the story if they would have lost. But no one's thinking about Grant now. Hell no. No. And I love Grant, but I would have played him.
I'm surprised Grant didn't play only because when you go double big,
there's there's
no other big. I'm shocked Grant didn't get in, but what he did was he played Rob 28. He played Rob 28 and Al 39.
Exactly.
So they just beefed up their minutes. Exactly. Look, at the beginning of the year, the reason I wanted to split those
not
guys
like
because I didn't think they could
stand. An elite shooter right now because he's not. Sorry.
Yeah, he's in his head too. But I thought you had to split him at the beginning of the year because I didn't think you had anything coming behind them. So it made more sense to me to go 27 and 27 with some overlap and then fold in some other people in there and, get your Grant or whatever. I'm shocked Grant didn't play. I'm shocked he only went with 7 guys tonight.
I absolutely would have played it the way Missoula did and go with 7 guys because the 7 guys you played are the 7 guys you trust the most. Are the 7 guys that you trust the most. Grant is like, it's like those 7, those are like the scholarship guys. Grant is like the partial scholarship guy that might get some time, that might get some burn. Sam Hauser, partial scholarship guy. No, at this point, you played the guys who are on full scholarships. You're not playing partials. Come on now. Shut up, Josue.
I mean,
Shut up,
Grant-
John. Shut up, Jimmy.
I mean, Grant doesn't have a
Everybody
role.
shut up.
Grant
Shut
doesn't have
up.
a role in this team, so I guess that's
Quiet
a
game.
good way to put it. He's not a full scholarship guy. He's on the full ride. Not a full ride.
It is pretty
No,
funny.
This guy
actually.
spent 20
He's
bucks.
the
to
he's the
ask
coach's
where
kid.
Bobby is.
He gets in the March Madness blowouts.
We gotta get an answer. I'm gonna text Bobby and say, where are you? Somebody just paid $20.
I just think it's wild that he threw him a bone earlier in the series, and then we
People are
haven't seen him
just
since.
flipping bills at Bobby to get
Like,
him on the
he
stage.
got curb stomped, and we haven't seen him since. But
Bring that
I'll
Bobby
get that
back.
answer. I'll get that answer. Hey, don't sleep on 14 Czar, dude.
Who?
14 Czar.
Yeah. That was we talked about that really quick about the turnovers.
Czar?
And
yeah, we talked about 14.
You know how much money we could be millionaires right now.
Okay, go ahead, Sherrod.
Jimmy. No, the thing, Jimmy just
Fucking Czar,
completely
man.
threw me off by talking.
Sorry, 18
It's not even.
turnovers.
It's not even $1, Jimmy.
It's 75 cents.
Yeah, 75 cents. It's 3/4.
Damn.
But thank you, Czar. Appreciate the 75
Thank
Hey,
you.
cents.
money's money. Thank you, Shakalaka Mekalaka.
Oh, stop, Jimmy.
That's his. All right, go on. 75 cents. He couldn't even round it out to.
I dropped him.
You just put him in a penalty box.
Put him in the penalty box for a minute.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's getting goofy. Sherrod's gonna get his point out.
I wish you could get a camera somewhere, like you could see him flipping out and then mute, like he can't. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
No,
He's just swearing silently.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
But his camera's like
Yeah.
half the size, not even.
We'll let him back.
Oh,
But you're
geez,
going to
put
the-
the
you're going to the
bottle down,
bottom row.
Jimmy.
Timeout. That was the guy's name. That's all. That was his name. I was just
All right,
reading.
Jimmy,
whatever.
is that gin?
Sherrod, you have the floor. 18 turnovers.
18 turnovers. When they put that graphic up, the Celtics, I think it was like right before Tatum went into his bag and started making some shots. And it felt like it was kind of symbolic of how their season would end. Their worst turnover game would happen in their last game of the season. But a lot of those turnovers, you got to give Philly their props. I mean, Philly, I thought did a good job defensively for the most part. They did not give the Celtics, I think, a lot of easy looks, easy finishes at the rim. But a lot of the turnovers, again, I attribute that more to Philly's defense than the Celtics making mistakes. They made their share of mistakes, but Philly's defense, I thought, was really good for the most part in this game.
Yeah.
So give them their props.
For those people asking about when Game 7 will be, you could have 3 potential Game 7s on Sunday with Denver, Phoenix, and the Lakers. The 3 potential time slots are 3:30, 6:30, or 8. They're not going to decide on what time this one's going to be. They won't decide on which time it's going to be. My guess is if it's only one game, it's 8 o'clock, I think. And if there's 2, whatever.
Mother's Day, though?
Just saying.
Yeah, if there's 2, it's probably be one really early and one really late.
Yeah, but anyway, if there's 3, they'll be staggered like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're looking at a 3:30 and an 8. I'm guessing.
3:30 is
if
the earliest.
If the Lakers Golden State, that'll be the 8 o'clock, and they'll be the 3:30. Or if there's a West Coast game, it'll probably be the 8. If the Celtics are the only show in town, I think they're the night game, but we'll see. But time is not going to be determined until tomorrow for those people out there wondering and asking when Game 7 is going to be. We're just happy we have a Game 7.
Right.
You mean they won't do it? They won't tell us until tomorrow after the game?
After Golden State, yeah. But we'll know it. Will after the result tonight, we'll know more, and they'll say if Golden State wins, it'll be this. If they don't, or if this goes Game 7, it'll be this. If not, it's that.
We know it's not going to be a Game 7. That Denver Phoenix series.
Yo, I'm just looking at the score right now.
What's the score?
Damn.
71-45, something like that.
71-5. Not even half.
This is like Phoenix Dallas a couple years ago where they just get
Denver's
show up,
on.
huh?
Oh yeah, but that was crazy. They got like a 30-point lead in the first half.
Last year, rather, yeah.
But this is Denver on pace to drop 80 in the first half. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, Jokic just got 27 and 5.
Dude,
He's at 27.
No, 20 points on 10 of 12
Oh,
shooting.
27. Oh, got you.
With 7 dimes and 5 rebounds.
Jeez.
Even freaking Kentavious Caldwell Pope is giving him the business.
He's been balling though.
He has been massive. What an
Celtics
under the
business,
radar
but
acquisition that was.
When he was in Detroit, he used to get the Celtics the business. But
Massive under the radar acquisition. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Jimmy. That was your boogeyman there.
My boogeyman team. They were, I think.
And mine was Golden State. And so those two go out. Not saying you feel good about it, but
I'll tell you what though. I think I underestimated the Nuggets when I said Phoenix scared me.
They were my preseason pick.
The Nuggets really freaking scared me because
Yeah.
like they just play. I said this last show when I watch, the Joker, and I watch Murray together. I feel like they have the same brain out there. They're just they know what they're doing together.
Isn't it amazing watching them play offense and then watching
yes
quarters 2 through
I'm like, wait,
3.75 of the Celtics tonight,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, like
I'm like,
just watch that for a little bit and then like do some of that, like
that's
man.
you kind of forget because we watch Celtics all the time, and I'm not saying I don't watch other basketball games, but I don't watch the Nuggets consistently enough. But yeah, just watching them play, I'm just like, damn, that's pretty. Like, and I feel like that was my big gripe with the Celtics comparing the two last show is that there's no flow offensively. It's just
There has not been in
ahead.
this series, but you have to credit Philly for being a very solid defensive team. And for whatever it's worth, and again, this is as much credit to Embiid as it is to kind of some of the things that, Jason Tatum probably needs to work through is when he's challenged at the rim that changes his approach a lot. So you really want him going downhill more and attacking and finishing, and that's something he improved on this year, but he's been seeing ghosts all series. So Embiid has completely changed the complexion of that. Denver doesn't have that. So
no, Tatum needs to develop a more floater game. His float game is just non-existent. If you add that to the mix with his ability to sidestep defenders when he gets, dribble penetration, again, that's another counter that he has that teams are going to have to address.
Get to the elbow and rise up, things like that. He just doesn't do that. Any mid-range at all is actually, a problem. And when you have somebody protecting the rim there, he finishes weird. He's off balance. He falls out of bounds. He takes himself out of the next play, and he just kind of messes with his whole. He doesn't really know what he wants to do to attack.
And he has smaller defenders on him, so getting to the elbow, you can just raise up over them.
Exactly. He's kind of hoping there'll be a path when he gets there, just dribbling with his head down, and that's what's leading to turnovers. So it's really messed with him. I think that's something, not every team has someone like that. So I think Embiid's really changed things a little bit. We're waiting on Bobby to join in a little bit.
Okay.
What's that?
Do this.
We'll tell you guys a little bit right now about FanDuel, exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. New customers get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000. That's $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. So go to FanDuel.com/Boston. Make sure you do that. FanDuel.com/Boston. Download the app, super safe and secure. Get paid instantly. No better place than America's to play some action than America's #1 sportsbook. And as we said, the official partner of the NBA and the official partner of the CLNS Media Network. Once again, check it out over here. 1,000 bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/Boston in no sweat first bets. Go check it out. Jimmy, you were going to say?
I was just reading the fine print. I was going to say, hold on to your hats, boys. Hold on to your helmets because we just got 2,000 NGN. Sherrod, you want to run that for us just to see if we can retire right now, or does 2,000 NGN sound a lot more? Can't hear you. 4,000?
No.
Okay.
$4. $4 is like $4.50 basically.
Okay. What is the NGN? What is that? What country are we?
Nigerian
Nigeria.
currency.
No kidding. So we got people watching from Nigeria right now.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
awesome.
naira.
That's awesome.
That's what's up.
$4 in Nigeria. That's probably goes a long way.
So let me ask
Thank
you
you
this.
for
Here's something we didn't discuss fully, but was this the Celtics locked up James Harden game, or James Harden just turned back into the ugly version of James Harden game?
I don't think he was as engaged as he needed to be in this game.
Right?
I didn't think
At all.
Yeah. And I think part of that had to do with the fact that Maxey had it going. And when Maxey gets it going, I think they sometimes struggle when they need all three of those guys to be playing well. And I think sometimes when one or two of them have it going, the third, if it's not Joel, it's just like, what am I doing? well, why am I out here? But James, I thought defensively, this was one of the few games where James' defense was actually better than his offense, because he made some plays that I didn't think he had in his bag, poking the ball from Malcolm Brogdon, getting his hands in deflections, doing things that we just don't anticipate or expect James Harden to do. But that helped mask the fact that he was brutal on offense, 4 for 16. I know he had I think 9 assists or something like that, but he never really put his imprint on a game. And they can't win this series without him being one of the top 2 or 3 players on the floor that night. Can't do it.
Man,
yeah, I wonder who's going to show up in Game 7, and I feel like it's going to be the other one. So something have to be ready for that for sure. Especially since we saw them, we saw Embiid and Harden put it together in one game. And you saw the outcome, right? So I just feel like that could happen again, especially at TD Garden. And again, look, if looks like Mizzou's going to go with this short rotation, all right, that's fine. But someone else has got to step up here. And obviously Tatum can't have the kind of game he did on the floor for 3 quarters. That just can't happen again.
You know what scares me a little bit? I'll ask the question: who's more desperate? Which team is more desperate for a win?
I want to say Philadelphia, honestly, just because they haven't been in this level since 2001. That's the last time they made an appearance at the East Conference Finals. And Joel Embiid has been so anxious to get to the stage, and it's his MVP season, and it just seems like
and
this
Harden's
is
kind of towards the end now, and
yeah, right. It's like this is the year they're gonna do it. But then you can say the same thing about the Celtics, right? I mean, the Jaylen Brown question mark, his future, and all that. Like, can you envision the Celtics putting together a more talented team? That a team that's better than what we're seeing right now? Like, no. So yeah, but I still put the pressure a little bit more on Philly because they haven't been here in almost 2 decades, or over two decades.
I think the pressure is more on Boston because the game is in their building. They should be the team to move on.
Who's desperate? Who's the more desperate?
I don't know if there's a difference at this point, because I think both teams are both teams know what's at stake. You win that game, you move on. If you don't, your season is a wrap. I'm not sure either team is going to be more. I'm more concerned if I'm Philly that Harden, for example, in the most critical period of this game, the fourth quarter, missed every single shot and was like minus 12 or 13 when he was on the floor. I would have thought the sense of urgency might have been a little bit greater for him to just make a play, do something positive for them.
And is he gassed maybe?
That's why I think it's so important to attack those guys early in the game, to put some pressure on them and put some physical fatigue in the game. Because James Harden, he played all but 37 seconds in the fourth quarter, and he was 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3-point range, and was minus 13. So
yeah.
And same thing for Tobias Harris his situation was even worse. He played the same amount of time and did not take a single shot.
You can't even, you can't even gauge with that dude's ass sometimes. It's like, Jesus.
He must be so frustrating to Philly fans.
Oh, can you imagine? Like, whatever he does,
he's getting okay,
sure.
So they need their veterans to step up in Game 7 for them because Tatum, I don't know if Tatum can play much worse than we've seen in these last 3 or 4 games. And he still hasn't had that breakout game. He had a breakout stretch the last 4 minutes tonight, but he really hasn't had a great game. And it's unusual for a guy to be. Look, even though people don't want to think of him as a top 5 player, the fact that he's first team All NBA, you can make a case that he's a top 5 player in the game. At worst, top 10. He has not played like a top 10 player in the playoffs, particularly in this series. You can easily go through and name 10 players throughout who's still playing now, who've been better than him. And tonight, the last 4 minutes, that flipped that entire script. But can he do it for more than just 4 or 5 minutes? Can he do it for like 15, 20, 25 minutes? Because if he can do it for that extended amount of time, Celtics win Game 7 probably by 10, 15 points.
Okay.
I just got in. I got a good bite here. We're talking about some of the adjustments and some of the heat that Joe Mazzulla has been getting throughout. Marcus Smart has been a staunch defender of Joe. A couple times he's the one who gave us the little shout out. Joe's been phenomenal. Cool. to Bobby.
Shut up, John.
Really what's up, Marcus? If you're watching.
Exactly.
Really game. Good, absolutely unbelievable game. 6 games.
Hero. Brown, you got my brownie, buddy.
I got my brownie. I gave the brownie.
Worried. He wasn't worried. He told me.
This is a really good answer, Marcus Smart, talking about Joe here. Listen,
I was ecstatic about it. To be able to have Rob in there, he changes the game a lot. Being able to have a lob threat, a rim threat, to be able to protect the rim on the other end, he's huge for us. And I was proud to have him on the court. And that just goes to show, Joe's learning, just like all of us. I know he's been killed a lot, rightfully so. He needs to make some adjustments, and he
Rightfully
did that.
so.
And that's all you can ask for. Just continue to be the best he can be. And it takes everybody. It's a full team effort.
Joe, like you just said, he's taking some criticism,
Yeah,
rightfully
and have a
so.
follow-up after that.
As a team, when he's learning on the fly, but it's the playoffs and this is kind of like your championship window, what's it like trying to help him along while trying to win on the floor?
It's different, but it helps us as players, because when you think about it in the grand scheme, we're teaching him as well, and we're teaching ourselves. We get to learn more about ourselves. It allows Jason, it allows Jalen, it allows me to be more vocal on the court and to go figure things out, and we doing it together. So, it's not going to be perfect. Joe's not perfect. He was put in a very tough situation this year, and he's doing the best he can. And that's all we can ask for. We're going to continue to go out there and work our tails off for him, just like he's going to go out there and continue to work his tail off for us.
I'll tell you right now, that's more.
Pretty,
they said more,
pretty honest, huh?
I'm ready. Let's
that's
go.
More support for Joe than I ever heard anyone have for Brad.
That's facts, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Facts.
they never said anything close to that type of support.
Not even remotely close. And the series not over yet. He's talking as if they just won Game 7. But yeah,
Right.
Those are
He's being
facts.
honest. Yeah, he's being honest. I mean, it feels like Marcus and Joe have a very close relationship. Not your typical player coach. It's like you can tell that they were pretty close. I think before Missoula was named head coach. So I think that they can pretty much say whatever how they want to each other, and no one's gonna take offense to it.
I think part of that has to do with the fact that they both know what it's like to be undervalued, underappreciated, cast aside, criticized, ridiculed. There are a lot of parallels that I think Marcus sees that he's going through, that Joe's going through, and that sympathy/empathy that he has, I think, is based upon a lot of that stuff. But the bottom line is this: the stuff that Marcus talked about was the stuff that we've talked about. What Rob brings to the table, and Marcus, rightfully so, was able to take advantage of that. The Celtics are now, as we near the end of this series, are basically putting Philly in a bit of a conundrum. They're still going to shoot threes, but now they've got somebody who can actually give them multiple possessions after they miss them. Someone who you have to worry about as a lob threat, someone who can run the floor really well and could potentially get some easy baskets. Rob gives another level of the scouting report that Philly has to address going into Game 7. And that's what you want. You want guys to be thinking more out there instead of just reacting off muscle memory. And I thought with Derek White in there and not Rob, I think that there was a lot of muscle memory work that Philly was able to do, because it was very much been there, done that. We know how to handle this. Rob gives you a different wrinkle that you have to address if you're Philly.
Agree.
Here is
Thank you,
I
Jacob.
got a little. I got some Joe. Here's Joe
US
Mazzulla.
dollars. Here we go.
I know what that
Here's
is.
Joe Mazzulla giving it right back to. How much is that in Zarps? Though?
A lot.
I'm just kidding.
A lot.
Joe Mazzulla giving it right back to Marcus.
Yeah,
here.
what
I
did
just
Joey
thought he
say?
brought a level of he got the pace going for us from start to finish, and he did a great job of keeping us poised. And he was the quarterback of our defense, him and Rob. And so when Smart can dictate the pace like that and get us into offense and get us into spacing and just play with that level of toughness, it was contagious. And so he's one of our emotional leaders.
It's a love fest.
Facts.
Love fest.
It's a love fest.
Wait.
tonight.
There's more love. There's more love.
Oh,
Let's go.
Ready?
Let's go.
more?
Ready? Joe on his message. This might be to Tatum, might be to the team, but I think it's to Tatum.
What were you delivering to him then? What kind of confidence were you trying to instill in him? Whatever.
I love you. Yep. Yeah. That's it.
I love you.
No, we're back to that again.
I love you.
I thought that's only for losses.
I trust you. I love you. Oh man.
I love Joe Mazzulla. I love Joe Mazzulla.
Never rattled Joey.
Damn.
I love Joe Mazzulla. I love
So
you.
much love.
The sun will come out tomorrow, Joey.
Get you a man who looks
Bet your
like
bottom
you.
dollar. Bet your
Who
bottom
looks at you
dollar.
the way
Joe
Joe looks
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's Joey right there.
A lot of love.
Hey, everyone loves each other, but I'll tell you what, it was close to a lot of hate tonight. It was very close to a lot of
Oh
hate.
my goodness.
Oh, this would have been a much different.
Dangerously close.
Yeah,
This
very,
would've been-
very different show. It's going to be a very different
He's
show.
an angry elf.
Yeah, the tiki torches might have been out tomorrow if this thing would have finished the way it looked like it was
This
going to.
would have been as ugly as anything we've ever seen if this didn't change. I mean, this was headed in the wrong direction. Certainly for Jason Tatum, who again we have given. I mean, again, he got away with it, man. He really did. He lives to play another day, but holy wow! I mean,
yeah.
What changes for him next game?
Oh, great
Nothing.
question.
I don't think he's gonna change anything, dude.
I don't think so either. I think it's just stick to the script, just do it better earlier.
Yeah, you just hope the defense, we get a better. I mean, look, the defense was certainly there was a difference this time around compared to Game 5, but
yeah,
if they can be the more stifling defense that they can trigger their fast breaks and get those opportunities going for Tatum, especially Brown, I think you'll see him shake out of his funk. But the way they're guarding him, man, it's not gonna. I don't see very much changing.
But he keeps trying to do the same thing over and over again. Here is Jason Tatum talking about his struggles here.
You know, I gotta give a lot of credit to my teammates, right? They
hell yeah, you give them a lot of credit
throughout the game, right? Encouraging. I mean, being transparent is frustrating, right? You want to win so bad, you want to play so well, and shots not falling, things just not necessarily going your way, and you want it so bad. But trying to stay present, trying to stay in the moment, trying to do other things. And every time out, every huddle, my teammates telling me the next one going in, keep, rebounding, keep getting assists, keep getting blocks, keep impacting the game. It's gonna come. So that that was helpful, and just believing that, the next one is going in. As cliche as that sounds, it's kind of as simple as that. And really all it took was one to kind of get that off my back, and try to help the team come out here with a win.
There he is, folks.
Bobby, what's up, man?
So,
A lot of
Bobby,
people
you
were
were in there
asking
with
about
Tatum
you.
just now. Yeah, tell us everything you've learned.
I think they learned a lot as a group tonight in terms of the persistence and things Joe Mazzulla preached all year. I got a lot of crap post game. I did talking to somebody because I said, do you sit Tatum down here? It was that bad. Fourth quarter, he's thrown the ball backwards to Harden. Just unable to get by Niang in isolation. It looked like he tiptoed on the verge of an all-time meltdown here. And
Oh man, Bobby, you made that take public? I thought that was just between the group.
Yeah, yikes.
no, how could you not think about that? Your season's teetering on the edge of collapse.
Some things you
Did you tell the Celtics?
Yeah, yeah. Did you tell like
Who did you get in trouble with? Did you walk in and tell them?
He's like, I told Jeff Twitt.
you tell Duke Castiglione or something?
And again, I don't know if I would have.
Jimmy.
I don't know if I would have done it or not. It just that enters your head in this moment. He's one of whatever at that point.
It's not benching Bobby, but an extended break was not beyond the question. Like
just sit him down.
sitting-
That's all I said.
Bobby wanted to sit this dude for good, I think.
Sitting him for
just-
5-6 minutes wouldn't have been horrible just to see. But they really,
I think.
Joe was playing so tight tonight, he really couldn't do it. They only played 7 guys.
Yeah, it's like,
so
who
I
do you
think
play?
I think it was just do the other stuff, and if the scoring comes, which honestly I was fine with. He just missed so many.
Well, when he didn't start the fourth quarter in Game 5, I felt like this whole body language was just completely against it. And then 90 seconds later, he was up at the scores table. So, yeah.
Yeah, and great response from him. That's exactly what you look for from him in this moment. And he has had other games in this series where you look at monster rebounding nights or just continuing to move the ball. Things even Ime Udoka stressed to him last year when they were going through the growth period there. And he was just talking about how he's pulled Joe aside at times to help him out through the highs and lows. And Joe's done the same here today. Another love you moment, John. I don't know if you heard.
Oh, we got it. Everyone heard it.
So this is just so encouraging to see. And the job's not done yet. Who knows how Sunday goes? As I say, Game 7 to coin flips. But this was, you could feel the importance of this game for both sides. And you can talk about Doc and him reaching all-time amount of losses in this game in terms of closeout games. Harden and just another Harden finish to a playoff game here. And Tatum, if that low continues and they flame out here in round 2, it would have been an almost impossible offseason to endure mentally, I think. The heat that would have been on him.
For you or for him?
The heat that would have been on him. Yeah, well, that would have been huge.
Honestly,
huge.
For Celtics fans, too, the noise would have been incredible, right?
Huge decisions for organization to make. You really didn't want me to go there yesterday, John, when we were recording, but it was hard not to think about what's going to happen if you lose on Wednesday or Thursday night out here and go down the way they could have. And
yeah,
it looked like it was about to happen. I
Bobby,
said going into that fourth, John, this is one of the most consequential quarters in franchise history. I know you hate the hyperbole sometimes, but I thought it was true.
I said in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So I agree. But what I will say, Bobby, is it wasn't that we weren't going to go there because it wasn't on people's minds. We just didn't know because you had no idea what was going to happen in 6 or 7. But yes, they flamed out against Philly. If they laid an egg tonight, if this game ended with them losing, Philly pulling ahead at that critical moment where it looked like the Celtics were losing it, Tatum doesn't hit any of those shots late. He finishes the game 1 for 17. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, what an offseason this would have been. I mean,
you can't go out worse than that.
You can't go out worse than that, and the question marks would have been unbelievable. So, all of that happened. Jaylen Brown, I guess, speaking of fans and things, took a shot, I guess.
I'm
gonna play this right. I guess
this is a great quote right here.
All right, here we go.
That's a great question. I'm hoping that it's going to be loud and it's going to be rocking. Celtics fans, they y'all love to call us out, right? So I'm gonna call you guys out this time. Like, energy in the Garden has been okay at best all playoffs. Game 7, I expect.
Yes. Yo, he's
in your home.
He's
if you're
so
watching
right.
At a bar, if you're watching down the street at a friend's house, I don't care.
Why
I
do you
need
think
you
the
to be
energy's been
up.
okay at
I need
best,
you to
though?
come with the energy because we're gonna need
Why do you
every
think
bit
that
of it. No excuses. We need everybody. So I'm calling you guys out. Let's make sure the Garden is ready to go.
The PA folks have that already recorded up on the jumbotron, ready to hit play. Ready to hit play.
That's gonna be the first thing they play before the
intro. First thing they play right after the anthem, Josue. Right after
the anthem. Right before the
When you don't show up, when you play like you played in Game 5, what the hell is there to be amped up?
Yeah, but that was the worst
for?
playoff crowd I've heard in a while. Right?
Game 5 was so bad, Jimmy.
Game 5 was terrible.
They were asleep. It was like, where is everybody?
Yeah, especially coming back
because they're mad.
Yeah, exactly, John.
Expectations.
Fans a little bit.
You've been cheering.
Expectations are here, and when they come out and lay an egg and don't try, you're like, I can't freaking believe it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I also feel
I don't mind calling out crowds. I do mind calling out crowds when you guys laid down in Game 5. You don't get that. You don't get to be supported just because you're wearing the laundry. You've got to give something too.
Well,
they gave nothing.
I just feel like it was one of those games where
they gave nothing in Game 5.
All the ruckus, like all the abrasive fans, they all collectively were like, well, let's just watch it at home tonight. I feel like they didn't go out. They didn't.
We're not even talking about the booze, John. We're just talking about nobody stepping up.
There's no energy.
There's only so much
energy. I feel like there was a lot of casuals, if you will. I felt like a lot of casuals were in the crowd.
The Celtics
Red
don't
Panda's
provide
only going
energy.
to get you so far. You got to do
the guy who
actually they had to deal with the chairs.
I love Red Panda.
Freaking $800 a ticket. What do you expect? You're going to get casuals.
Yeah, especially on a Tuesday night. That's true.
All right, let's get to it, John.
But hey,
Game 7 will be
second.
Game 7 will be good.
I'm not done ranting. I want people to understand something. I want people to understand the Celtics belong to the fans. Okay, the fans are here forever. You guys come and go. You might be playing in a different team next time. Like, they are the Celtics. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if you're wearing the uniform today. Like, the fans expect something. They're supporting you, giving money. Like, you've got to do your part too.
I like the booing, John. Me and Josue are talking about.
You got to do your part too. It is not a birthright. You don't get the privilege of full support just because you put the laundry on.
No,
you got to do something too.
I love the booing, John. The way they played. Yeah. Josue and I are talking about "Welcome to the Jungle's" going off. The ball's about to fly up, and the crowd was just like.
And the crowd sucked.
Yeah.
No question about it. The crowd sucked, but
they were better
didn't
against
give
the
them
Hawks.
anything either. Yeah,
the Hawks series they were better.
Yeah, games 1 and 2 against the Hawks were great, but I gotta call you out, John. The move of the season tonight, finally, and I admitted I was wrong at a certain point, but my beloved double big lineup returns, and
we got to eat that one.
It's just fantastic, and I talked to.
It's not fantastic.
Yeah, right. I don't know about that.
All right. It was phenomenal.
It almost didn't work. There
you go, Bobby.
Phenomenal.
I've talked to player after player, John.
It was fantastic.
Why'd you go with fantastic there?
Yeah, I had to build it up. Now you move up the scale to phenomenal. Remember we talked about when phenomenal first happened.
Fair enough.
But anyway, Malcolm, Marcus.
The Garden Report, where phenomenal happens. I love it. New T-shirt. Go, Nick.
I'm just running off names here of guys I've talked to. Malcolm, Marcus, Al.
Yeah, they loved it. They wanted it.
But they've said, get back to defense. All the shooting and high-flying offense has been great all year, but Malcolm said it tonight in the locker room. We're going to win with defense. And you couldn't play the best defense you're capable of without playing the double bigs. And they came into this game with just 7 minutes together in the series, numerous games where they didn't appear together at all. Al said I was thrilled because that just allows you to play at the peak of your powers defensively. And this is a defensive team. I mean, I'm thrilled Joe realized it, and I don't think anyone asked him what led to that change. Pregame he didn't really let on. I don't think we'll know, but it just changed everything. Harden's throwing the ball away. They're second-guessing. Rob's at the rim when Maxi's trying to get in there. They look like the 2022 Celtics again, and it just set such a tone early when Philly shoots 26% from three and 36% from the field through almost halftime or whatever. Gave the Celtics a cushion. It let them get out in transition. Just such a great adjustment. And it finally made this team look like the team that I knew last year. Not this team that's just getting switched on and scored on at will, and it's a turnstile out in here. They looked hard to score against again. And they looked disruptive. They were blowing up plays. Smart's ripping the ball from Embiid. This is the Celtics, not this run and gun 353s race you to 130 team we've watched all year.
Well, the other thing too, Bobby.
That is the Celtics,
right? That's still part of who they are. It's just not as prominent. But the biggest impact that having Time Lord in that starting lineup is the pressure that's on Al Horford isn't as great.
Right.
Al can actually get beat by Embiid and not worry that it's an automatic layup. It's probably going to be a layup, more likely than not, but it's not automatic like it used to be when you just didn't have any type of size whatsoever to back you up. So Al, I think, can be a little bit more aggressive as a defender because he's got a guy that can disrupt. And who, let's be honest, Robert Williams is a free safety out there.
But he has to play it well. That's my fear. Not that it isn't a formula that works. Rob as the free safety was literally the key that unlocked the Celtics' greatness last year. As soon as he played him off ball and just roaming around and became a monster, the defense went to a different level, and that's when they started absolutely killing people during that insane stretch where they were, historically good. It wasn't even close, and that defense was historically good. My fear is that I haven't seen enough from Rob this year to have faith that he's going to make the right decisions, when to help off, when to be aggressive, when not to. In the first half, I thought he was. I thought he had a stretch where he got a little goofy and lost for a little bit there. And I thought when he came back into the fourth quarter, he was impactful again. But it's just, is Rob's mind right to be able to do the things that he did?
Is he in his right mind?
I worry about PJ Tucker. getting great looks from the corner. I thought there were a couple.
And Rob falling asleep alone too much.
Yeah, but you have to just live with that. That happens.
Josue, exactly.
Bobby hates
like
PJ
if he makes
Tucker.
3 in a row, then you bite the bullet. Like, you know,
If you go down in Game 7 because Tucker scored 30 points,
yeah, exactly right. That's so be it.
I'll be putting on a Sixers jersey and I'll just be like, "Go team," because
like-
you'll
it's
live
like
with
when,
that.
It's like what Draymond said about what's his name about damn it, the guy who went off the last game against Golden State.
You're talking about Lonnie Walker.
Walker,
Yeah,
right. If you get beat by Lonnie Walker, then so be it. If PJ Tucker is dropping 20, you know, and he hits 3 corners in a row, then you live with that. But it's the you choose to double team someone and believe hard and wide open. Like those are the kind of mistakes that can make you pay. You know, like. And I put Rob in those situations. You know, I'll live with that if he's allowing PJ to get a couple of shots off.
I just think he's talented enough where he can still give you that double big protection around the rim and contest shots that are taken on the perimeter. That's all.
Yeah. So since we're looking at the scoreboard over our predictions, Bobby, you still think they're going to sweep them?
Celtics in 8.
Again, I made that prediction. I made that prediction thinking Embiid wouldn't be playing, but he didn't play in Game 1. They still lost, so obviously he was wrong. Listen, I'm not.
Hey, leave Bobby alone. You guys all got wrong in your predictions.
Wait. Raise your hand if you had Celtics in 7.
No, John is still up for grabs. What you mean?
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Might still be wrong.
Nicely done.
We'll see.
And
You're the
I
best.
wish I said
You're the
6.
best, Bellows.
Never mind 7. I should have said 7.
If you wanna call me Bobby Flip Flops tonight, go ahead because I'm picking the Celtics. I'm picking the Celtics in 7.
No,
Wait a second. You had
Sixers.
Sixers in 7.
That's what I said.
Yesterday.
That's what I said. Just throw the.
Flip-flopped right at the end of the show last night or 2 nights ago, and it really pissed me off.
There's new information, guys. There's
stick
new
with your
information.
game.
New information. They
New
won a game.
information.
That's it. They won a
No.
game.
Time out.
Yeah, John's gonna say
Time
it.
out. Stop. In order for there to have what new information? For there to have been a Game 7, the Celtics would have had to have won Game 6, which means naturally you have to
Double big.
Which you have to predict you're going to have a good feeling after Game 6 because the Celtics just won it. Couldn't you factor that into your prediction?
No, I didn't expect them to win it like that. No, I fully admit I am.
He's a double big believer. Now he thinks that they can win again because they're going double big.
Right.
So Bobby, what else?
Actually, but anyway.
Bobby, what else from the locker room? It seemed like, as you said, like the players were geeked. Like everyone was like, Smart was like, I love to see it, you know, with Marcus.
It's just a release, John. This team was tense. This team was tight. You look at last game, and you know I loved your analysis of the quote Joe made, John, because you dug deep on it. Him talking about having the right intentions, but it just not going how you would have wanted it to. Breathing, playing free, all that tense play carried over into this game, mostly from Tatum. And you heard in the quote we played talking about wanting it so bad and just fall. He kept forcing things. That isolation on Niang was so tough to watch because he's just trying to break his own game open. And that's the kind of stuff that makes you think he's going to shoot them out of the game, you know, almost like Kobe style. And, you know, a la Kobe, you know, I want to put that out there. This is the kind of thing Kobe would have done in a game, you know, like just a horrific start. You're wondering, like, is he just going to shoot them out of this game, out of this series? And he just keeps shooting and stays persistent and wins it for them. So this is why I'm flip-flopping, John. They just took something off their back in this game that was whatever was hampering them all series.
Everyone watched this game and was like, there goes Tatum. The next Kobe,
right?
Just like Kobe, reminds you of Kobe as he's going 0 for 10 in the first half and just completely non-existent.
But Jimmy,
this is the least Kobe I've.
Jimmy, I mean, you know, I don't want to say it, but like, you know,
say it.
Say it. Sherrod told him to shut up earlier. You can say anything to Jimmy.
Say it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, Kobe passes tragically, and there is some like mythologizing about him, but. You look back on his career objectively, and how many times was he just 4-24?
Yeah, he was a chucker.
He was a chucker.
Like 9 of 30, yeah.
So there is something to that mentality of Tatum shooting his way back into this game, as frustrating as it was to watch. Like, I think at times
you were gonna say Kobe sucks, weren't you?
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm just messing with you.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Sorry. But
you're gonna remember all.
He did at times, though. He did at times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
you suck at times.
You're gonna remember all the positives, because of the tragedy, and I do think that's right to some degree. But you also have to look objectively at his career and the good and the bad. I think part of Kobe, the negative, was the shot chucking and sometimes just shooting his team out of games. But what people loved about him was the persistence to work his way out of it and not just fading from a game. So there was a real Kobe moment for Tatum tonight, and I was texting with Nick about it tonight, and he kind of pointed that out to me, and I was like, it's 1,000% true. I think Nick made a great point there.
Confirmed, Tatum to the Lakers.
I'm giving Tatum a ton of credit tonight. Again, I was on him all series. I just thought so much of this fell on him, and he dug himself out of the hole. And, I was talking to a lot of other players tonight, and he gave them credit for, getting him out of that slump. Jalen was telling him to, believe in himself and this and that. I think there was a high level of communication between Jalen and Jason tonight that was great to hear. I loved Al. Was it on the TV when Al gave him like the big high five at half court and just embraced him there at the end of the game? Loved that. And Smart. How much? I mean, this guy's gotten a lot of crap, and maybe rightfully so.
Keep talking, Bobby. Keep talking.
No, we defended the hell out of him, and we also clapped back a little bit at the people who've been just blindly like criticizing.
There's been a lot of people saying there's a Smart problem, and I'm just like, what?
That was the worst analysis I've seen, and it was rampant. Like, I couldn't believe that was the narrative, that Marcus Smart was the issue. And we've given Smart a ton of crap. Smart's been good, and Smart's what?
I thought
Smart's
he was awesome tonight.
Smart was taking shots in games mainly because nobody else could do it. That's why his shot count is up, not because he's like, I'm going to make a name for myself here. And he's hitting enough of them.
Like game four, in all the analysis of that disaster at the end of the game, everybody forgets he hit the shot. If it's a second earlier, it's a game winner for Smart, and he hit 2 to force overtime. I think he's close to 40% from three in the series and in the playoffs as a whole. He's been great, and he injected a sense of control over the offense tonight. And he was talking about how the teams empowered him to be aggressive. And, I think we've all kind of come around to some degree on that aggressiveness and the threes that he's willing to take. And even the shots in the lane, that's a part of his game that's really developed, and it's opened up his playmaking. He saved the game tonight. He kept them in it when Tatum was falling out of it. Brown was pretty bad tonight, too. I thought, especially early, missed a lot of shots and some erratic play, and someone needed to settle him down. I thought Brogdon was bad too, and he's been bad all series. White.
I don't agree with that at all. But
you thought Brogdon was bad?
I didn't think
he saved them in like the first quarter, in the first half.
He kept them afloat when Tatum couldn't hit the side of a freaking ocean.
They've needed him too because Derek White's been bad. Brogdon's been pretty good.
He's been solid. I mean, the defense has been tough in this series on the switching.
It's fine. I mean, he shouldn't be. I don't get how he ends up on Harden as much as he does either. I think the whole Jaylen Brown picking up Harden full court and making life hard on him stopped being a thing after Game 3. You see him on him from time to time. He's giving up the switch a lot easier. He's not as aggressive on him. So I'd like to see a return to that, but I'm not getting down on Brogdon. It's that's not who he is necessarily, and I don't think he's done badly there. But
no, there's
a lot of guys. I mean,
plus tonight.
It's a tough series, Bobby. You're looking at Al's been brutal shooting. Al's been getting killed with his drop coverage. Al's been getting exposed on the defensive end when he's been out there on his own. Really rough series for him. Derek White's had a horrible series. Jason Tatum's had a horrible, at least start to four games, 4 out of 6 games in the series. Brutal getting going. Salvaged a couple. And so, Jaylen Brown was super consistent early, and not as much late. So, if you're going to look at somebody, I'd say Marcus has been your rock in the entire series here. And you've had some inconsistent play from a lot of people that you're not used to getting inconsistent play out of. I'm not going to say lucky to be here, but like they haven't gotten great performances from a lot of people right now. They're going to need more, to survive Game 7 and move on.
Yeah, game 1 and game 5 are really bad losses. Games you didn't show up.
Yeah, and you gave those away.
You gave those away. So you're exactly where you should be considering you gave those away. And you almost stole game 4 to swing it back in your favor, and the series would be over now if you did that. Now you got to win a 7. And I don't know. I always look at these games as a coin flip, John, and the coin flip's a little heavier for the team that's at home. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's pretty overwhelming historically. Teams 27 at home. The meltdown by Philly late. And I didn't get a lot from the Philly side tonight. I don't know if you guys picked up any of that. I think it was mostly just, we love, we're glad to be here. We'll make shots next game, that kind of stuff you hear from the team that loses all the time. But 0 for 9 to finish this one, a turnover, 10 empty possessions outside of free throws down the stretch.
It was disgusting. If you're Philly right now, you don't want to go on anymore. But
and the fans who left tonight, I think there's been a nervousness among this fan base, the Philly fan base, all series. You could just tell as they stormed for the exits that we missed our chance here. This was our chance to win this series, and I don't know how many Philly fans are going to pick them in 7 now either.
Yeah. Anyway, great defensive effort. Celtics survive one of the worst. Maybe the worst start to a game Jason Tatum's ever had in his career. Live to play another day. We have a game 7 on Sunday. It is Mother's Day. We will all be back on that show. Most of these clowns will be at the Garden. Be nice to your mothers. Be kind to your mothers. Cook them up some brunch as Jimmy's hosting, I know.
I got to move some things around now. Make sure I get the show in.
Yeah. And then join us on the show. We don't know the time yet, but obviously, everyone's going to know once we do know. So probably 3:30 or 8 o'clock, depending if there's another game 7. We will be here after we get at least one more Garden Report and hopefully more after that as the Celtics hang on to beat the Sixers in Philly, force a game 7, just as they did last year against Milwaukee in round 2. It's a hard hat game for Jimmy. Good game for the D, good game for Joe, good game for Marcus. And we are going to wrap it. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Sherrod. Thanks, Josue.